So by 6 or 7 months, I've completely accepted the fact that I was in an uncharted territory around me, just like before, just like when I was going uh, from aircraft electronics to software engineering. No one will believe me until I reach the new state of being, a state of inner peace. That that's like that has been my life story, going always from a state, uh, going from the current state to the desired state has always been a work in sort of on the edge of the collective consciousness. So I was there again, once again. Often people go like, when I reach the desired state, people often go like, "Wow, you are lucky! Wow, you did it!" you know. Uh, uh, but then I will respond silently within me, like I will go like, "Yeah, if you believe luck is like um, going against everyone I know, against the will of everyone around me, or staying on on the course, even though there is no hope, when all hope is lost. If you call that luck, yeah, I am lucky." But I mean, right now, uh, life is uh, is giving you a hand. You just choose to not take it. More often, because you are afraid, um, or because you are comfortable in your state of being. So uh, you don't take the chance. You don't take the opportunity that is offered to you by life, or the Creator, if you want, or God, if you want. I call her my mother. I mean, she doesn't really care what you call her. Life is like a dance, you know. Um, it's like a dance with the Creator, or with my mother. Uh, she she provoked a desire, or she gave me a something to celebrate her with, and then I accept, and then I take the first step. But before my foot hit the ground, she will be there, taking me um, in in her grace to the next state that I desired to be. So that's how I see life. Of course, if you consider those steps you take in, like uh, if you consider them as hard steps, of course you're not gonna be enjoying the dance to the next step. But if you consider them just like challenges to deepen your consciousness, then it's just like a joyful celebration of life each step you take along the way to the next state of being. So you see, now when I found the book by David R. Hawking. So he wrote a book called Transcending the Level of Consciousness. When I found that book, I was ready now. I was ready to face, to confront everything. Within me, that was standing between the state I was in to and the state of inner peace. I wasn't anymore judging anything. It was just like, yeah, I recognize this transition. This is how it is. What I need to do to reach that new state is to face my fears, to face my judgments, to transmit everything that's between this state and the next one, and then I will be there. There was no. I didn't have any reason to doubt that outcome because life has never failed to deliver this state, the next state. When I accept it, it has never failed to deliver it. Although the little me in the mind was not happy with the transition, I didn't listen. I mean, I didn't listen to anyone, not even to myself. What I called myself back then is the little me in the mind. I didn't really listen to me. I was just um, I was just certain that I was in the path to a state of inner peace. So now I could just let go and just observe what is going on within me. The body will just like, sometimes the body will just like start dancing, and then I will go on with it and just let the body just move. More often it's like the energy within me is moving the body. I will put on a music and then I will dance until I'm tired, and I will feel like I was lighter than when I started the dance. Or sometimes I just feel like just go out and just contemplate the nature, and I will feel lighter after than how I felt before. Sometimes I will just lay in the bed the whole day just doing nothing, and I will find myself sort of immersed in me, in that, in the field, in my attention, in awareness itself. And it felt more like well-being. It felt good more than if it felt painful. Of course, all that I was doing brought out a lot of fears. For example, when I stay in bed the whole day, the mind will go like, Yeah, get up, you lazy bastard. You can just lay here the whole day and doing nothing. It's like, well, you can't just waste your life like this. You're wasting your life. I mean, uh, you are good at your job. You are a good software engineer. You just look at your email. It's like hundreds of companies willing to hire you. Why don't you just get up and go to work? Um, or when I see people going to work and so on, it's like the mind was giving me a an image of myself that was hard to cope with. For the mind, it was like I step away from the world. It was like the world was moving without me. So of course that brought out a lot of fears. But now I knew myself to be awareness and ready to observe those fears, and then transmit them. Uh, of course, from time to time, the mind succeed in pulling me away and then and really scare me. But most of the time, I resist the pull to spin on those fears. So I just let them be. Uh, because I knew it was like every state I am in is like transitory. It's like uh, I've been in all those states before, and while is um, painful to be in this state, it's also it felt good to be in that state because now there were the subtle joy of transcending those fears was there, underlying all that, underlying the state of fear. Uh, so I could feel that joy. I could fall back to that joy, that I am transmitting everything that's between my current state of being and the state of inner peace. Um, so it was okay to be in fear for a while. I could accept that. And so I listened to the book I mentioned, Transcending the Level of Consciousness. Uh, I listened to it for about 3 months, I think. And it was like the book itself is like a catalyst for healing, because every time I listen to it, I bought an audiobook. So every time I listen to it, it will bring out, uh, it will pull out all those dualities that I was still reacting on to my awareness, and then consciousness will then start to transmuting them when I'm not busy judging. Now, sometimes I go, like I said, the mind succeed in pulling me away, start judging those fears coming up. But whenever I stay aware, uh, most often when I stay in bed for like the whole day, it's like thousands of things I didn't even know I reacted on. I judged were were coming up and being transmitted. And so for 3 months, it's I've been listening to the book and transmitting fears like fear for like shame, guilt, anger, frustration. Um, so from the day I found the book, uh, Transcending the Level of Consciousness, um, it was like I entered a new state of being where I was shifting between three states, allowing, uh, letting go, and then surrendering to whatever it is that was coming up. Uh, that was the three states I've been in since that book. Actually, is in between those three states, I will find myself in uh, in um, in frustration because it never ends. So it was like uh, it was like I was transmitting hundreds, thousands fears a day, but it never ends. So in between those three states, I felt frustrated. But one frustration, I realized after every frustration, uh, comes a new state, a new shift where I was no longer in the previous state where after the last frustration, it's like now I don't want to give you details about those shifts because I don't want to give you food for the mind because when you tend to chase them outside of you, but those were inner shifts in a state of being. An example could be like if I was judging the fact that uh, I didn't have uh, any income, uh, and that sooner or later my money will um, I will run out of money. I handled it in the new state. I handled that fear with more wisdom, with more um, allowance, with more letting go, with more surrendering. So you see, it was a shift in inner state. It wasn't like I start seeing the world differently or something. It was just like uh, the present moment was still there, but the way uh, the way I handled the present moment, uh, the way I handled experiences that were in that present moment was from a different perspective. So that went on for about 5 to 6 months. And then at the end of that cycle, it was like, uh, you know, what I told you about having a desire that that life delivered to you, that cycle completely shortened into the point that I didn't know if uh, the outcome was being revealed to me or if it was my desire that manifested the outcome. The starting point of this new state of being was that I was feeling an intense need. One evening, I was feeling an intense need to travel, to do something away from home. And the next morning, I received a phone call from Togo that my mother passed away. Uh, and that I had to come. Um, so of course, in 4 hours, I could do everything I needed to do to sit in the plane home back to Togo by evening. It was the time of COVID, so it was from the level of the mind. It was like that's an impossible task to achieve. But then when I started, everything I needed was just there. I needed to know the restriction in Togo, and then a cousin called me and then told me everything I needed to know. I needed to find a hospital where I could test, where I could do the COVID test, and I found an hostel just near the airport, and the time was perfect. I could arrive there, do the test before, and receive the result before I take off. And I had to fill this form before I take off. A form Togo has a form that I needed to fill before I took off. I had time to do all that. In the next video, I will talk about what happened after that state of feeling that I was in the flow of life. What happened after that state? Thank you for listening.